Hello friends, welcome back to yet again an important discussion on the modes of integrated marketing communication. Now we are reaching to a stage wherein we are wondering that we have worked so hard and thought about gaining attention of our customers, persuading them with all the limitations of space and time and devices and the space on devices and along with ad clutter and message clutter and competition from all the sides, and we have engaged so much of creativity and so much of ability of planning and reaching out to the customers through different kinds of platforms. So, but there is an important mode which enables us to overcome several limitations. But again, with reference to that particular kind of a mode, we have to think strategically, we have to think creatively, and we have to plan. So, creativity and planning and strategic perspective remains with us, but there we try to remove limitations of space and time, where here we tend to be elaborative, because other modes of communication have given us an ability of reach, and frequency has enabled us to pass on specific messages to the customers, wherein several elements of positioning can be elaborated, but we want several details at one go. Catalogs we have talked about, that is an effective mode, but then there are several aspects which we want to carry forward for our customers, and there comes the role of content marketing. And you would realize that this is an important aspect which definitely has a complementary role. In B2B, business to business marketing, it has a prominent role, much beyond being complementary. But again, this is an important thing, because many times when decision making for consumer is comparative in nature, is crucial with reference to price sensitivity, or it is associated with life choices, it is associated with sensitive moments, important moments of life itself, then definitely content marketing has a very specific role to play. So, there are several facets which we would keep on discussing about content marketing for during this session. You see, let us see what McDonald's CEO Don Thompson says. He suggests that we have got to make sure that the food is relevant, and that the awareness around McDonald's as a kitchen and a restaurant, that cooks and prepares fresh, high quality food is strong and pronounced. Now, this is an important aspect which the CEO wants. How it happens? Content marketing is very helpful as far as this kind of an orientation goes. That means freshness, quality, and is projected in front of the customer. So, McDonald's question time, our food, your questions, that is the program. And you see, as the caselet says, the narrative says that McDonald's had some questions associated with their image, as they were struggling with one part of the time, they were struggling with as far as questions on their positioning or reputation, should I say, not specifically positioning. And when you serve masses, then definitely there are several questions which come up. And then from other sides, people who are concerned about the general health of masses, They write articles wherein several kinds of foods are continuously being questioned. Fast food is one of those category of foods which is continuously being questioned in terms of its impact on long term health. And there are several medical researches which are going on, several kinds of outputs are coming up, and McDonald's as an organization has to face it up. So, you see, McDonald's realized that people have to have big questions about the quality and origin of their food from the standpoint of the ingredients, how food is prepared, and how they are working in their restaurants, and how they go from farm to restaurant and so on. People are concerned. And you see, this precisely happens in this has happened in several cases wherein the whole lot of a sales has dipped down many a times. Now, these are very important questions. If you put up this kind of a question in front of a mother that this kind of a food probably might not be healthy for your children, then mother would become immediately skeptical. Now, that is where McDonald's realized that they should be coming up with this question time, and they decided to take on the challenge of answering customers' questions, all of them by listening to real customers online and answer honestly in real time. And you see, this move engaged the people in a two-way dialogue between customer and company, and this campaign created most trustful content in the form of question and answers, around 10,000 customer questions that help them to build strong relationships. Now, this cannot be done through other modes of advertising. You can put up, you can say that this is fresh, this is coming straight from farm. Until unless you explain this complete process, people might or might not believe it, and if they believe it, they might not be able to visualize that. That who would be able to visualize that you are producing one quality of burger around the world, and how are you managing it? So, that is an important thing which has to be told to the customers as such, you see. And people actually accepted and loved their transparency, and it also built trust and belief, and this is the ultimate objective of a marketer, to develop trust amongst its customers, which traverses as word of mouth for future customers, and we have talked about word of mouth and its importance in our earlier discussions. Regardless of the scenario, a bad image can also be it can be shifted to effective content marketing and so on. It doesn't imply that McDonald's had a bad image. No, McDonald's realized that it may go which way ever, basically. It may actually lead the situation towards a mistrust or distrust from the side of the customer. They took on the challenge, they put it head on across and answered the queries, gained the trust of the customers. Story goes on, McDonald's is one of the largest fast food selling company in this world. You see, content marketing is related to content on videos, white papers and reports, and reports are very important when you go for specifically B2B, or let us say counter effective kind of questions which come to the minds of the customers, basically. So, then e-books, graphics. Now, infographics we have talked about earlier as well. Coffee table books are a very important element of as far as content marketing goes. Many a times you visit places, you have coffee table books about organizations. Almost every organization, they go for those kind of things, which is full of pictures, full of information and so on. You have several videos related to that kind of a book. So, you read that book, then you watch videos, and that is how content marketing keeps on working. Newsletters and news feeds are very important part, and these are very common in this era of internet exchange as well. And then, although e-mode is coming to a larger level. So, and FAQs. This has become so important in due course of time. I feel that almost all of us would have visited FAQs, about almost everything we purchase. Not only in terms of the usage effectiveness which FAQs bring in, but there are several trivial doubts which they clear. And you see, in today's era wherein several products have become such that you just purchase them and install those by yourself and keep on using them and keep on maintaining them as well. In several things in automotives today we have started maintaining ourselves. So, that those handbooks, those FAQs, those are very important for us to have, to understand, because they will accompany us all through in terms of getting closer to the product and developing a trust towards the marketer as such. So, that starts, the journey starts from communication. How to studies are there, photographs are there, case studies are there, and games and applications are there. Now, content marketing is important for positioning a brand in the minds of the consumers, positioning, or should I say strengthening the positioning in due course of time, both ways. And it is an umbrella term which focuses on matching content, that is information, inspiration or entertainment, to a customer's needs at whichever stage they are in the buying cycle, or a consumer's journey, should I say. Content marketing is a strategic marketing approach focused on creating and distributing valuable, relevant and consistent content to attract and retain a clearly defined audience and ultimately to drive profitable customer action. And this statement is given by Content Marketing Institute in 2017. The reference is explicit. You can visit their site in for further details. The components are related with substance on one side, workflow on the other side, structure on one side, governance on the other side. Workflow and governance are related to people components, and substance and structure are related to content components. As I have been continuously suggesting you that metrics, any form of metrics, any form of structure is just to enable you to understand that this is how this can be seen in a two-dimensional plane. This is where a model, this matrix is related to a model explaining content strategy. So, at the core, if you will you look at the strategy, then it is surrounded by substance, workflow, structure, governance and so on. And principles of content creation are related to developing the customer persona, creating an engagement cycle, developing a brand story and developing the content marketing channel plan. You would say that this is a sort of these are common principles in case of almost all the kinds of modes we have discussed till now. That is very true, but look specifically at developing brand story. Now, this thing is very important with reference to content marketing, because story around a brand either can be created through continuous messages on different modes in an integrated fashion while customer uses that brand, or through content marketing. That is an important element which one should remember and understand. Now, I will take these principles one by one, wherein you see the first, developing the customer persona. Marketers should know the person they are selling to more than their demographics, behaviors, individual needs, buying cycle, customer motivation and goals, and whichever way we have been looking at the customers. So, you see, we have to intensify our relationships with the customers. How? The only way is to go in deeper connect and detailed description of our intent, our understanding of the customer, our intent for the customer, our intent for the satisfaction of the customer towards the products, towards our products and services in future. How can we do that? We can do that through dialogues and communication on social media as well, as we have talked about. But again, the point is, until and unless customer knows completely about our processes, until that stage we might not be able to emphasize the major point, and for this we have to explain them the all the scenarios associated with how big we are, what kind of supply chain we have, what kind of plants and automatic systems we have, and so on. I remember there have been stories on especially food items, that how food items or packaged food items are specifically processed, and there was a time when people used to demarcate between packaged and fresh food, so called. But in today's era, whole lot of packaged food has been taken as good as the immediately brought out food from farms, because people have realized in due course of time that the modern technology has enabled to retain the freshness of vegetables, fruits for a longer time. Who has done that? Content marketers have done that. So, you see, and then the other element is, why should this person care about the company? That is precisely the point. You will tell them and they would care. What unique value proposition do the company offer this person? Then there is an element which can be explained through this small example. You see, Decathlon has done wonders and they are doing very good. You see, companies often talk about being customer centric, but Decathlon has gone a step further by putting their customers at the heart of their growth strategy. They have built the world's largest sporting goods company by championing a consumer centric approach through innovation, technology and rapid expansion. This being world's largest can be rechecked on different sources. If it is there, please accept that, or otherwise just accept it as a gesture that they are large. Now, high quality innovative products are sold at the most affordable price by specifically targeting consumers who seek value for their money rather than image or brand names. And you see, Decathlon uses single image ads to showcase their products and also to keep customer testimonials in most of their ad copies. So they focus upon customer testimonials. On their website, there are numerous how-to articles about various sports and products, and each focusing on a distinct customer persona, associating almost everyone to some of their products. And that is how they have focused upon content marketing communication or content based communication to retain their customers and to continuously expanding their business in due course of time. Second aspect in lieu with what we are discussing is create the engagement cycle. Again, you would feel that this is generic in nature, but the point is that here there are some aspects which are specific to the abilities of content marketing, wherein you see you can generate awareness through other modes as well, but strengthening the awareness, strengthening the confidence on the awareness of the customer can be complemented through content marketing, and which definitely can again play a very important role in post purchase experience. As I emphasized upon FAQs, I emphasized upon other modes, other elements which we have discussed. So, post purchase behavior or experience can be strengthened, because that will become, as I repeatedly am saying, that will become the reason for word of mouth. If you are happy, you are feeling comfortable. For example, in case of, let us say, a washing machine, you have purchased a washing machine and it starts making a funny sound the day you switch it on, and it usually happens, and somehow you feel frightened that you have put in some 1,000 rupees, and ultimately you are at a losing end. But then you surf through their website, you go into some details, you go into some kind of booklets on the website or hard copies which have been provided to you, and there they say that try and adjust the base of the washing machine through the kind of wheels which are given with that, or somehow adjust the platform, and you slightly focus upon that and it starts working beautifully. That is where your confidence gets raised. Then you start reading that how to efficiently use that particular washing machine, what kind of detergents should be used. It becomes a part of your life. After 2-3 years, when you become extremely satisfied, you refer that washing machine to someone else who is about to change one, who is about to buy one, and then post purchase, probably after 10 or 12 years, whichever is the life cycle of that particular washing machine, you end up buying the same brand once again. Now, you see, creating engagement cycle can also be exemplified through a beautiful example, Vodafone, wherein you see Vodafone, it always knew that how to boost the user engagement, and Zuzu campaign, it actually brought in, it gained lots of attention, and I will not elaborate upon that thing. Basically, just to mention here that they came up with very own Zuzu emoji and collaborated with IPL to increase its customers, promoted their campaign with hashtag #BeSuper campaign on Twitter, and asked users to share their awesome stories with hashtag super so that more people could know about their exciting deeds. The campaign garnered a lot of attention and helped in making Vodafone a staple in mobile networks basically, and then they started elaborating upon how they started flowing the content through and elaborating upon how this is going to help the customers in due course of time, what additional features they have, how customer can be benefited through their several services, what is their signal strength in due course of time, what is their other aspects which customer can be feel advantaged by, and so on. Now comes in one of the most important parts, developing a brand story, and that is where I started my discussion, that how does a customer perceives, experiences your brand. What is your brand promise for the customer? What is the brand's history? You see, it is very important for an organization to emphasize upon the history of a brand, because that actually reaps in lots of confidence for the customer, because we all want to get established with a stronger, deep rooted brand and organization. What does your brand help the customer to achieve? And this all can be said in the form of a narrative, even if it is a consumer product basically. Have you heard any organization saying that we are in India for these many years? I think Nescafe came up with this kind of a campaign, and that beautifully actually exemplified that they have been the part of our journey all through. So, you see, historical perspective can definitely strengthen many things as far as marketing communication goes, and content marketing is an enabler of that. Now, paperboard is a very good example to exemplify brand story. You see, the nostalgia triggered marketing with a modern day twist to everyone's favorite Aam Panna and Jaljeera defines paperboard's brand journey. It's a usual product which every household used to make in their own homes basically, and they were actually packaging that product and marketing that. So, it had to have that kind of a thing basically associated with itself. From curating and transforming people's stories into beautiful illustrations and doodles to playing around various themes, paperboard utilized all digital media at the core. Paperboard effectively utilized storytelling approach to create their brand in the minds of the customer, and they chose nostalgia to create emotional appeal visible from their tagline drinks and memories, and that they elaborated through different kinds of descriptive details sent to the customers through different kinds of modes. And you see, the brand believed in making people taste memories. Then there is an element of content marketing channel plan, wherein where will the customer view your content, what device will the customer be using, because That is how you will structure your content. Why would people want this content through this channel? What do we hope the consumer will do with the content? What are the objectives of each channel as they relate to the engagement cycle, and so on. So, now let us talk about how content marketing is actually relevant for translating a marketer's or an organization's brand essence. You see, the brand essence sums up the unique attributes of a brand and the basis for its emotional connection with customers. How can you do that? Obviously, through a detailed narrative and story. And we have seen in preceding examples, whether it be of Paperboat or Vodafone or other examples, who have made a difference in due course of time while making aware the customer about the context they carry for their customers. The brand essence can be a useful guide for ensuring that the content one creates and the marketing and the associated marketing activities represent the brand appropriately. Now, that has to be related to the brand story. You see, the reason for that brand to be, for example, if have you seen that book published by Amul, Anand Milk Union Limited? So, that book details upon the story, and we have mentioned I have mentioned about that book in earlier sections also. That book actually details upon the complete journey of Amul, and that actually projects the brand essence, the reason why Amul exists. They suggest that how they are associated with their stakeholders all together, whether it be their suppliers or partners or societies which are associated, milk unions which are associated with them, or their customers at the end of the day, and how that is associated with a central perspective of utterly butterly delicious. Now, that is what that book actually carries, and this is precisely what content marketing is. How do you connect that with the interests of your customers is a major question for marketer, because you see, customer always wants to remain connected with you on the basis of the interest he may carry with reference to your products or your offerings. What is the value you add to your customers' lives? Is it convenience, health, status, whatever? So, that is largely the perspective around customer content marketing. So, and let me take you to one last element of content marketing communication, should I say, that is matching content formats to the objectives. See, information can be presented, you see, by this time you are wondering that should I publish a book, should I go for a video, should I go for several FAQs, should I go for some other mode, should I go for a coffee table book. So, you see, information can be presented through any number of mediums, which is both an opportunity and a challenge faced by content marketers. Definitely it is. To gain and keep the attention of consumers, users, it is sometimes not enough to rely simply on text based forms of content. So, it has to be innovative. We have to see that what can be utilized to reach closer to the customer and tell the story as well. The role of the content marketer is to select the right medium based on overall objectives, production capabilities, and the needs of the audience. And here is a glimpse of different forms of content will support different objectives. So, it is self exemplary, wherein celebrity endorsements can say something, community forums can definitely emphasize upon some other points, reviews can talk about something else. And you see, if you will see on this two-dimensional plane, wherein emotional to rational aspect and awareness to purchase aspect is demonstrated, and on one corner there is an aspect of entertainment, on the other corner it is an aspect of inspiration, on one it is of educating the customer, and on other it is convincing the customer. So, different kinds of elements fall on at the different levels in different quadrants, but the message is very clear that there are several options. It depends upon what objectives do we carry and how efficiently can we utilize those options to narrate our story to reach to the hearts of the customers. Reaching to the hearts of the customers is what we have to do at the end of the day. With this thought, I leave you here to further ponder upon what we have discussed, and in our next session we would be talking about some more aspects related to measurement and evaluation of integrated marketing communication. Then we would be moving on towards ethics and how ethics is important for integrated marketing communication and its understanding. And subsequent to that, I would be saying goodbye to you as far as the complete course goes. Bear with me till then. Goodbye.